When you think about kids' cavities, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Sugar, right? Candy, soda, the usual suspects. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? Today, we're going to dig way deeper and look at the hidden risks that you might not even be thinking about. So, yeah, is it really more than just sugar? Absolutely. And we're about to find out how much more. While sugar is for sure a big part of the story, dentists have this whole checklist of other things they look for. We're going to peek behind the curtain and see what's on that list, because spotting these signs early, that can be a total game changer. All right, so here's the plan. We're not just guessing here. We're going to break down the exact 7 clinical signs that dentists look for to figure out if a child has a high risk for cavities. Think of it as getting an insider's look at their playbook. Okay, first up, factors inside the mouth. Let's start right there, at ground zero. We're talking about the physical things happening inside a child's mouth that can basically roll out the red carpet for cavities. So, in this section, we're hitting 4 big points. We'll look at things like braces, how well a kid can actually clean their teeth, the secret role that spit plays, yeah, you heard me, and why having even one cavity is a major clue. All right, first on the list, braces and other appliances. Look, they're amazing for getting that perfect smile, no doubt, but they're also like building a new apartment complex for bacteria in your kid's mouth. Suddenly there are all these new little corners and hiding spots where plaque can just set up shop, and they are so hard to get to with a toothbrush. Okay, this next one is super important, and it's all about skill. For a little kid, just learning to hold a toothbrush correctly is a big deal. Their motor skills are still developing. Or maybe a child has physical challenges that make brushing tough. The bottom line is, if they can't effectively get that plaque off every single day, well, the risk just naturally climbs. Now, here's one you probably haven't thought much about: saliva, or spit. We kind of take it for granted, right? But it's actually your mouth's secret weapon, its built-in defense system. And when that system isn't working at full capacity, the shields go down. So what does saliva actually do? Well, the cleaning service analogy is perfect. It's constantly working. It washes away leftover food, it neutralizes those nasty acids that bacteria create, and it actively fights germs. So if you don't have enough saliva, it's literally like the cleanup crew just walked off the job. And number 4, having a cavity right now? This isn't just a problem, it's a huge warning sign, a giant flashing red light. It tells your dentist, hey, the environment in this mouth is perfect for making cavities. The bacteria, the diet, everything, it's all tilted in the wrong direction. If you have one, you're way more likely to get another. Okay, so we've looked at what's going on inside the mouth, but of course, what we put into it matters a lot. So that brings us to part 2, the diet connection. And yeah, we know this one seems obvious, but there's a little more to it than you might think. Because here's the thing, it's not just what they eat, it's how often. Think about it. Every time your kid has a sugary or starchy snack, it's like ringing a dinner bell for bad bacteria. And if they're snacking all day long, that's a nonstop, 24/7, all-you-can-eat buffet. It creates a constant acid attack on their teeth. So diet, yeah, it's a massive piece of the puzzle. All right, let's move on to something really interesting, something you might not expect. It turns out, cavities can be a family affair. A child's risk isn't just about them, it's deeply connected to the rest of the family too. And this really breaks down in 2 key ways. First, you've got shared history. So if mom or an older sibling has had a lot of cavities, it might point to shared habits, right? The same snacks, the same routines. But then there's shared biology. And this one is wild. We're talking about the actual bacteria that cause cavities being passed from person to person, like by sharing a fork or a cup. It's a real thing. Okay, so we've laid out all these risk factors. It might seem like a lot, but here's the good news. Knowing is the first step. Just being aware of this stuff is half the battle. Now let's talk about what to do with this knowledge. So, how do you turn this info into action? It's a simple 3-step plan. First, observe. Just pay attention. See if any of these risk factors pop up in your child's life. Step 2, discuss. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk to your dentist about what you've noticed. This list is the perfect conversation starter. And finally, step 3, prevent. Take what you learn from that conversation and use it to build smarter habits at home. Easy. All right, to wrap this all up, I have a question for you, and I want you to really think about it. Based on everything we just talked about, what's one small change you could make? Just one. Maybe it's about snacking. Maybe it's about helping them brush a little better. Maybe it's just not sharing utensils.
What's one thing you can talk about with your family tonight to start tipping the scales in your child's favor? Because that's where the real change happens.